demo printing your lino at home, soft cut lino or hard cut, the traditional stuff. If you've got ink, water-based ink and a roller, you can use that. If you haven't and you've got some gouache and a brush, you can use that. I've got a piece of traditional lino here. This is the harder stuff, and I've got some of these tools. Unscrew this, put your blades in and out like that. Now this has been out in the sunshine for a bit. That was my cat, you well know. So I'm going to cut round first. So you actually cut round the marks that you want to print. So just a really quick demo just to show you how it works. Try and always cut away from you, because the minute that you turn it round and the blade is going towards you, you'll slip and cut yourself. So I'm cutting all the way round first, and then I'm going to cut away, and think about the direction that your cut away marks are in, because even that is going to affect the print. So there we are, that will do. So I've got a little bit of the soft cut lino here. You can draw with a pencil on it. Let's draw another cross. That works quite well. This is much easier to cut into. I'm going to actually make the cross the white mark, so I'm going to cut out a cross on here. I make it into a star. So this is much easier to cut. So if you are going to get any, I think Lawrence was the best place. Have a look in the workshop file on Minerva. So I'm just going to cut that out like that. So this will be a white star in a ground, whereas this will be a black cross on the ground. So I'm just going to be using newsprint. Anything really thin will do fine. If you didn't get ink and you haven't got a roller and you can't do that bit, but you can do the cutting, you can just take a rubbing of it instead. So again, soft pencil and very thin paper, and that will give you an idea of how it would print if you were going to ink it up. So I'm going to ink these up now. I'm going to ink up on a bit of old metal, but if you had, I don't know, the lid of a container would do absolutely fine. Now I've got a small cheapish roller and some ink. So this is all acrylic, water-based printmaking ink. It's very useful for doing stuff at home or workshops where you can't use oil and white spirit. So you want to get it so that it's like that. Can you hear that? It's just hissing. You don't want loads of ink, or what will happen is you'll actually fill your image with ink. So lots of thin layers. Now it's quite hot today. This is going to dry fairly quickly, so you've got to get a move on. If you find that your ink does dry, if you get a little spray bottle and just spray it with water, a plant spray bottle or something like that, then that will make it workable and usable again. So I've just inked it up, lots of layers. I'm going to use a bit of newsprint again, put it on the back, give it a rub. If you've got one of these Japanese barons, use it now, because this is really good. If you haven't got that, you could do it with your fingers. You could actually do it with a rolling pin. That works quite well. And then just pull it off. Let's see what we've got. So it looks pretty good. It's quite nice and clear, but it does look like I need a little bit more ink on it. So I'm going to ink up the other one and see how that works. I'm going to put a bit more ink on this time. And now I'm going to put the same paper on top. Move this slightly, put a clean bit underneath, otherwise I'll pick up ink from there. Put this on top, and again give it a rub. Get the rolling pin, peel this off and just see what we've got. So this one's definitely blacker. It's still a little bit faint in the middle. I'm going to have one more go. On the back of this I've got something that I cut before, so let's just a bit more detailed. Let's see if I can get a good print of that. So with the water-based, it's really tricky. You've got to get somewhere between it being really gloopy and too thick and not thick enough. So it's just when it starts to hiss a little and it looks a bit like velvet. So I'm going to put that on there, get another bit of newsprint, rather large, put that on top. Could probably even do this with your hands, and you can actually feel where the cut marks are. So let's just do that. And then peel that off. That's not bad. Not a bad print from that. So I'm going to try printing with a bit of gouache. Just ordinary gouache that you might have if you haven't got any ink. And I've got a bristle brush. So I'm going to try and paint the surface of the block. I've added a little bit of water to this, not much, but just a bit to loosen it up a little. So try and paint the surface and not get the ink into the grooves. And again, I'm just going to do it with my fingers, I think. You can kind of feel where it is. Give the edges a rub as well. And then we're going to peel that off and see. That's really not bad. I'm going to just try inking up this one again with black. And try and brush across the surface and don't get it into the grooves. Let's pop it on top, and again I'm just going to use my fingers. Have a quick go with the barrel. This just gives you a nice flat surface to print with, and take that off. So yeah, that one's actually a little bit stronger and a bit better. So you might find you need to experiment with water, adding a little bit of water to the ink just to get it the right consistency for printing. So clearing up, I've just got water in a sponge here. You could do this under the tap. I haven't got water in my studio, so I've just got a bucket of water on the floor. So just clean up with a sponge, clean your roller. And don't worry about your hands because it will come off. It stains ever so slightly for a little bit, but not much. Wear an apron though. Try not to get it on your clothes, even though it is water-based. There we go. Very forgiving, and then you can wipe your surface as well.